News Talk Radio 710 WOR presents Eye on Real Estate. This is your premier source for real estate information. From the hot properties in the tri-state to the latest real estate market trends. From mortgage news to the answers to all your real estate questions. You'll be in the know with help from the experts. Call into the program at 800-321-0710. That's 800-321-0710. Now, here's your host for Eye on Real Estate, Prudential Douglas Elliman CEO, Donnie Herman.
Good morning. You're listening to Eye on Real Estate.
Hey, on the line. Are you on the line?
I am.
Oh, Don,
morning.
You're from the Hamptons.
I am, and it's
Where
a beautiful day out here in Southampton along Shinnecock Bay.
Oh, I love Shinnecock, and I'm in Southampton. I'm not there today. And by the way, speaking of Southampton, Donna, we're going to be next week. I guess next weekend is the film festival, the Hampton Film Festival. We're going to be out there. We're going to be doing our show actually out in East Hampton.
We'll be on the sidewalk in front of Dottie's office, 20 Main Street in East Hampton. And this year we have a permit.
Yes. Well, that's a wonderful time to maybe address the issue that I'd like you to discuss.
What's your question?
Well, as the town of Southampton is currently revising their town code to and take into consideration, wind turbines and placement of wind energy conversion systems, they are proposing some legislation, and I think it's a very lax legislation. And I wanted to know what you had to say about how town planners should go ahead with wind turbines and how it may affect real estate values.
Hi, Donna. This is Jonathan. First of all, what do you mean by lax? What are you suggesting in your question?
Well, right now, the proposed legislation says that anyone in any zone within the town could have a turbine. I happen to live in an R15, which is a high-density residential. And what's on the books right now is that no one can have a wind turbine in this densely populated area, especially along the shores of the waterways. And this new proposed legislation says that anyone in any zone with 0.46 of an acre can have 2 wind turbines.
Wow.
Well, that would be probably detrimental to property values in the immediate vicinity. There isn't great data on the impact of wind turbines to value. I think this is more of in an urban setting. It's usually in a very remote setting. There's safety issues, etc. But I think that the implication here is that it would be a negative impact on value if you're in that close quarters.
Donna, what you might want to do, because Jonathan is an appraiser and his company is probably, in my mind, top of the line. That's what we use, and I have them do it. Maybe I think sometimes issues people really don't, like, in other words, you've read it. Sometimes people don't really know what's written into something, and maybe some awareness so that people can because I'm sure that people have hear how that would affect value from somebody who that's what they do for their whole living.
And there's other troubling things, setbacks, for example. I mean, the town and all municipalities need to address that in terms of, you don't want to sit in your pool and 50 feet away have a 50-foot turbine. Right now, it's just the setback is only the fall zone of the turbine. Right.
It sounds to me more like the topic is intriguing, but the devil is in the details, and that hasn't been thought through yet.
I think in a rush for municipalities to, kind of embrace energy issues, they are trying to legislate maybe too quickly.
Right.
I remember the controversy when they tried to do it in Nantucket and put them in the Nantucket Sound. You remember that?
Yeah.
Because, it was very funny because Nantucket tends to have the reputation of being a very exclusive, it's extremely expensive, but liberal Democrat. It's where the Kennedys vacation and everything like that. And, the classic liberal Democrat who's very in favor of all of this stuff until it's blocking the view of their $20 million Nantucket.
Not in my backyard.
Exactly.
Not in my backyard.
Right. Dottie, what do you, are there wind turbines now in the Hamptons that you've seen?
Well, this would be the first one.
I haven't seen them.
I haven't seen them out there either. Yeah.
But there are 2 in Block Island, I think, and I noticed they were in very large, 10 or 20 acre zones. So it
really only works, from my understanding, if number 1 they're very big, and number 2 they can't be too close together, otherwise they'll eat up each other's wind.
My guess, maybe, and I could look. I'm speculating. I'm going to do a little bit more homework because I really am not up on that particular legislation or proposed legislation. But I would just think that there would be a lot of people that get involved with doing it, because one of the things that the Hamptons has tried to do, and I think they've done a good job of it, is to preserve the beauty and the whole,
the sight lines,
right, because that's what makes the Hamptons, and they have the Land Preservation Trust. I mean, people there pretty much really try to do that. So my guess is, I don't think everybody would be in favor of something that would destroy aesthetically the law. I think that they would want to balance it so I don't know that it'll end up that way, because I can't imagine people just saying okay to that.
There are a couple.
I don't think it will, but I
think people are going to roll over.
No, but it's worth the dialogue for people to understand the issues.
I think you're right. It's worth awareness.
Absolutely.
It's worth awareness. And you know what? We're going to try to find some of that information, and we could probably we'll talk about it next week on our show, because we're going to be out there.
We're going to be in the Hamptons. We'll be in East Hampton next Saturday, so you want to come out and see Dottie in person. She'll be there at 10 a.m. at 30 Main Street at the Prudential Douglas Elliman office. Hey, Dottie, we need to take a quick break here. Remind everyone that they're listening to Ion Real Estate on News Talk Radio 710 WOR. Call in with your questions at 1-800-321-0710.